Now guys, if you haven't been ripped off yet and had a contractor steal from you or extort you or do something like doing work on your house without a permit or a license, it's because you haven't been in the business long enough. You haven't done enough deals. It's an unfortunate part of our business, but if you're flipping a lot of houses or doing a lot of work with contractors, you will be ripped off at some point in the future. They will steal from you. Something bad will happen. It's just part of the business. It's part of the nature of the beast, I guess you could say. Now, in today's video, what I want to do is give you a few different ideas to help you avoid and minimize this risk, because it's coming. And let's just try to make it happen as times as possible. And I'm gonna share with you some of the things that I've come across in my business that's cost me a ton of money, that if you can avoid these and make sure you make these a part of your best practices, you're gonna save a lot of money. So the first thing, guys, is no permit, no money. This is very important, guys, because if you're flipping a house, especially if you're a licensed real estate agent, you need to do it right. I mean, in fact, all of y'all need to do it right every single time. I promise you. You're just gonna lose money cutting corners, trying to do things without a permit and doing it right under the counter. Sometime in the future, you will get sued, I promise you that. Now, if you don't wanna get sued, just do it right. Pull a permit and get everything green tagged and go through the right process with the city when you're doing anything like plumbing or electrical or anything that requires you to pull a permit. But what do we do first? When we're working with a contractor, even ones we've been working with forever or we've had good relationships with, we do not give them any money until we know a permit's pulled. Why? Because they're gonna go start working on your house without a permit. Sometimes their license is turned inactive and you're gonna be in a big old headache, right? So I'm gonna link that in here. Not only that, no permit, but no active license, no money. You wanna verify that they have an active license. Trust me, how do I know this? Because I've had individuals I've worked with for a number of years whose license went inactive and they went to do my jobs without pulling a permit. So what do? I tell them ahead of time, I set it, I pre-frame it, I set the expectation, you do not work with me. This is how I do it unless you follow what I tell you how to do it or tell you how I work. And that is, you go pull a permit, prove to me your license is active, and then you start the job, and then we'll discuss maybe giving some money up front. And if we do, just a little bit. That's number 2. Do not be giving half the money up front. I see contractors all the time that ask for 3/4 of the money up front, and what they tell you is they need money for materials. Guys, you should be separating materials and labor anyways. That's a good thing to point out. I should have put that up here as well. We can pay for their materials. We can pay for it on a credit card. We can buy it wherever they need to get it from. You don't want to be giving them a bunch of money up front, because what's going to happen is you don't know if this person's hit hard times in their life. They could have had to run a successful business for years. And this could be the time that they hit hard times. And you don't know how many deposits they've collected around town before they split, right? This happens all the time, guys. Do not give them a bunch of money up front. I would say at most give them 25%. And most of the contractors I work with do not get anything until work is being done or completed. And then we basically create a schedule, which we pay them in draws for the work that they're doing. Because if you start giving people a big amount of money because you're desperate to get that house up and going, because your carrying costs are cranking and it's just sitting, and you finally got someone out there, guys, I promise you, someone's gonna run off with that money and you're never gonna hear from them again. And most of the time it's a small enough amount, $1,000, $2,000, $3,000, just enough that's too big a headache to go fight to get it back, but just enough to hurt as well, if that makes sense. Number 3, no false change orders. What does this mean? So if you've been doing this a long time, you know what a change order is. A lot of these contractors, guys, are gonna come out and they're gonna tell you they can do the job for 15 grand, because just like you're telling a homeowner and you're giving them a price, they're bidding for your job, right? And if they tell you it's gonna be 20 grand, you may not give them the work, especially if you tell them that you got a bid for 17,000 and 18,000. So if you've already got a bid for 17,000, 18,000, and their bid is gonna be 20,000, but they come to you and tell you, I can do it for 15,000, what are they doing? What is the psychology of what they're trying to do? They're trying to lock you into a $15,000 agreement with full intention later to come back and hit you with what's called a change order. They're gonna get their foot in the door, get the job locked up, and then they're gonna start saying, oh, well, we didn't put this in here, or this is extra, or this or that, we're gonna have to make a change order, and they're gonna creep up the price on you on the back end. So how do I avoid this? How do I keep contractors from hitting me with change orders? First off, make sure they're licensed, make sure they're pulling permits. Remember, don't give them a lot of money up front, but then explain to this new contractor that, look, I get ripped off all the time by contractors. You're here, I don't know you, this is the first time we work together. We do not allow contractors to hit us with unnecessary false change orders. And I'm gonna protect myself this way. I'm telling you right now, Mr. Contractor, that give me your best bid, because if there's any unnecessary change orders later, something that I feel you creeped onto me that wasn't an actual legitimate change order, which there are legitimate change orders, guys, like say they pull off the shower and there's a bunch of termites and mold damage back there that you or them had no idea was there, that's a legitimate change order, and yes, you're gonna have to pay them to fix the house. But if they did something sneaky where they said, we're gonna do the whole kitchen remodel for $4,000, and then you get to the end and they're like, well, we didn't put backsplash in there, we didn't put in that we're gonna hang a fan in there. Guys, they're hitting you with unnecessary change orders and they're ripping you off and they're trying to play games. So what I tell them is, to avoid contractors doing this to me, if we do have an unnecessary change order where I think you're trying to get over on me, I will get that work done because it has to get done, but it's not gonna get done by you and your company. Any unnecessary change order will be done by a third-party company. I will call them in to work over top of you, and you will not get to take advantage of me. Do I make myself clear? And then they understand that they better give their best bid because they're not gonna get the work anyways, if that makes sense. So say they're gonna try to hit me with a 5K change order later, they're only gonna get the 15K amount of work anyways because I'm gonna give that 5K to someone else, so they may as well give me the best number possible from the get-go, if that makes sense. Number 4, do not provide tools. Guys, if you provide tools, you better say bye-bye to your paint sprayers, bye-bye to your weed eaters and power washers. They're gonna disappear. Do not provide tools. The other thing is, you need a signed release, guys. You need to make these workers that come to your property sign a release that says that they understand they're supposed to bring their own tools, because guys, if they don't have their own tools, these are not a type of individual that you want working on your property anyways, because they have so little control over themselves and their business that they don't even have tools to operate their business with. So don't be hiring people that don't have tools. Never provide tools for them. And then when they do have tools, make them sign a quick one-page release that says if they leave their tools at your vacant property and those tools disappear, it has zero liability on you and it's all on them. They need to protect their own tools, because what's gonna happen is they're gonna play this game where, oops, oh my gosh, tools are gone once again, and they're gonna come to you, threatening you, trying to extort you out of the money, even though the tools that they probably had there are sitting in their truck right now. They're just telling you that someone stole them. Guys, a lot of contractors are very, very shady. And even if, what if the neighbors broke in? What if someone else broke in? What if another contractor at the property took their tools and pawned them? They're gonna still try to blame you for it because it's your house and it's ridiculous, and there's no self-responsibility for most of these people, and a lot of times they're straight up running a scam. Do not give them tools, and sign a release that says, if any tools come up missing, it is their responsibility, not yours. Now, same thing in the beginning, guys. No green tag, no money. If you're pulling a permit, do not give them any more money or their last draw, basically, until there's a green tag and the inspectors come out and approve their work. Because if they did it incorrectly and you paid them $5,000 to do a plumbing job or a big electrical job or more, what do you think is going to happen if they did it wrong and you've already paid them most of their money and the inspector comes out? And they don't care about their reputation. Some of these companies create a new LLC every single 6 months, and then they go screw a bunch of people and they collapse. And guys, I'm not trying to panic you here. I'm just trying to impress upon you to be aware, because awareness in this business puts a lot of money in your pocket. And if you don't understand that there's a lot of bad people out there in this trade, and trust me guys, I've worked with a lot of great contractors as well, but to be honest, the majority of them are going to not be ones that you want to have any longevity working with, and they will take advantage of you because they see you as that evil, wealthy, rich person that it's okay to steal from them because they're not a real person, right? It's kind of messed up, but you're going to start to feel that. Until they get it green tagged and the work is approved by the city, do not give them money. And this kind of goes into the last one. Do not pay them out in full until the job is done. Now, here's what's going to happen, guys. If you're out there, they're gonna start playing on your emotions. Oh, I gotta get this payment in. My kid's going to school on Monday and I can't get him school supplies. Pfft, you kidding me? Guys, what they're really saying is, I got a 40 I gotta buy, I got a pack of cigarettes I need to go get. Guys, do not pay them out in full. They're gonna play on your emotions. They've been doing this for their entire life. Most of these guys are career, what's a good word here to use? They do this all the time. This is part of their racket, I guess you could say. They're gonna sit here and try to get you to give them money before they're done. And once you write that last check, there's nothing keeping them from leaving and not coming back. If you give them that last draw, they have no incentive to come back. Do I make myself clear? If you give them all the money, they have no reason to come back unless they plan on doing multiple jobs with you. But most of these individuals are where they're at in life because they do not understand that, you know, it's easier to do honest business, to get repeat business, because there's no more cost of acquisition for that customer or client. But a lot of them would rather steal $1,000 from you on this job than make $2,000 a job multiple times a month, every month going forward. I don't understand why it's so difficult to impress this upon them, but this is what happens over and over, guys. This is what you're gonna see when you're working with a lot of these individuals in this field. And Just protect yourself out there, guys. There's great ones out there. Sift through the bad ones, find the good ones, and work with them. And once you find a good contractor, pay them well, support them, help them out, and do right by them, and they'll do right by you. And you'll create a symbiotic business with their business, and you're gonna make a lot of money flipping houses, guys. I hope that you liked today's video, and I'll see you on the next one, guys. If you haven't done so, you know I'm gonna say subscribe to the channel, support the channel, guys. We're supporting you with your business, and I'll see you on the next one. Have a good day.